Amid strained relations between Moscow and Washington, one of the most high-profile Americans in Russia is potentially facing a long prison sentence. On February 21st, a court in Moscow formally charged 51-year-old investment fund manager Michael Calvi with large-scale financial fraud. As of the day of this court appearance, U.S. Embassy diplomats were unable to get access to visit Calvi in a pretrial detention center in Moscow. Calvi's lawyers said the basis for the accusations were vague and stem from a financial dispute over a local bank. The investment community has been rattled by the arrest of Calvi.
Well, at this point, it's damaging. It certainly makes every one of us who are here thinking about, well, how far is it from me to his prison cell? And I think every foreign businessman has to have that thought crossing his mind.
Calvi founded the Bering Vostok private equity fund in 1994 and is one of the most prominent foreign investors in Russia. He and 3 other executives deny the charges of embezzling about $38 million from Russia's Vostochny Bank, in which Calvi is a shareholder. He could face up to 10 years in prison. In his annual State of the Nation address on February 20th, Russian President Vladimir Putin mentioned the threats many businesses face in his country.
Уважаемые коллеги, чтобы добиться тех масштабных целей, которые стоят перед страной, нам нужно избавляться от всего, что ограничивает свободу и инициативу предпринимательства. Добросовестный бизнес не должен постоянно ходить под статью, постоянно чувствовать риск уголовного или даже административного наказания.
Calvi is the second U.S. citizen to be arrested in Russia in recent months. Ex-Marine Paul Whelan was detained in December on espionage charges. He's denied the charges and said he was in Moscow for a friend's wedding. These cases both came after the arrest and conviction of Russian Marina Butina in Washington. She pleaded guilty in a U.S. federal court in December on 1 count of conspiring to act as a foreign agent for Russia. Russia denies that Calvi's case has a political dimension. British-American financier Bill Browder was barred from Russia in 2005. He has led a campaign to punish Russian officials for human rights abuses after his lawyer Sergei Magnitsky died in detention in 2009 after exposing a large-scale tax fraud. Browder sees the Kremlin's hand in Calvi's case.
Well, the main similarity is that I was the largest foreign investor in Russia in 2005 when I was expelled, and he's the largest foreign investor in Russia in 2019 when he was arrested. The main difference is that I was a critic of the regime and he was a complimenter of the regime. And if this is how they treat their friends, God help everybody.
Several high-profile Russians and foreigners have spoken out in Calvi's defense, but his fate remains under a cloud.